20 years after the mighty King Kong was introduced to American audiences, the Japanese decided it was their time to get in on the monster movie magic. The year was 1954 and Gojira, or Godzilla, was introduced to the world. The gigantic reptile monster and eerie reminders of the atrocities of war led to Godzilla attaining critical success in Japan and across international audiences, launching a massive franchise and introducing a new genre of films to the world. The kaiju were taking over. Let's get to it. Toho, the studio behind every non-American Godzilla movie, wanted to capitalize off the great success of Gojira. So in 1955, they released the sequel to the original film called Godzilla Raids Again. This time, the movie couldn't just be about Godzilla rampaging across Japan, it had to introduce something new to the audience. They had to create another monster worthy of combating Godzilla and the efforts of humanity. Introducing Anguirus, the first monster not named Godzilla to ever show up in the entire history of Gojira movies. The start to a continuing trend in the franchise, one that goes on to this day: monster versus monster action. Anguirus was introduced as one of the great Ankylosaurus kaiju by Toho, even though it was clearly no Ankylosaurus that we are familiar with. But you can see the similarities, most notably the giant shell located on the monster's back. The beast was said to be quick, nimble, ferocious, and mean as hell, but also insanely durable due to its shell and many spikes all over its body. Anguirus fought Godzilla all over Japan, with their final battle occurring on top of the city of Osaka. Anguirus and Godzilla both fought hard and valiantly, throwing down in a rather realistic fashion. The battle ended, however, when Godzilla found the one weak spot in Anguirus' defense, the back of the neck, and chomped down hard. Blood from Anguirus gushed out from the gaping wounds being created, and Godzilla tossed Anguirus aside. Before he could attempt to recover, Godzilla finished Anguirus off with his atomic blast. To create the look of the original Anguirus, Toho and its artists created a miniature of the beast out of clay and shaped it until they had their final design. This miniature was designed so that Anguirus would have a shell that was split into two sections, but when transferring this idea over to the suit that the actor would play the monster with, a Godzilla-sized problem kept happening. After a while of moving and tumbling around, the shell's two sections would peel apart and kinda just be a pain in the ass. So Toho decided to create a single shell piece to use instead. The shell itself weighed in at around 25 pounds. And rumor has it the actor in the suit, after working long hot days, would start to lose his balance and had to fight not falling over every time he moved. One of the aspects I myself loved about this Anguirus was how during close-ups of the beast's head, you could see him jerking his head back and forth in these aggressive and fast movements. This was because his head was nothing more than a glorified sock hand puppet, and it worked flawlessly for the time in my opinion. The spikes on Anguirus gave Godzilla a hard time, but in reality, they were anything but dangerous. Using paper rolled up in the shape of a cone, covered in rubber, and then glued to the shell of Anguirus, Toho's crew was able to make a light and cheap product, but apparently the spikes would break off them and be a real problem to fix. So what do you think? Did Toho do a good job for a monster design back in the year 1955? Let me know what you think. The first ever monster to appear alongside Godzilla, everyone. Most fans of Godzilla know about Anguirus, but maybe only the hardcore fans knew about Anguirus being the first ever monster to star in a Godzilla movie and take on the G-Man himself. That's why I made this video, to introduce more new fans and those who may not know the deep history of Godzilla to a really interesting topic. I hope you all enjoyed it. Make sure to like this video and let me know if you want more history videos like this in the future. Remember to check us out on all our social media for bonus content. And thank you for spending your time with me, residents. This has been Jacob, and peace out.